Alright guys, so I noticed quite a few things when I was watching the Sixers vs Bulls game yesterday. And the first thing I noticed is that Cameron Payne doesn't need to be anywhere near the NBA court. That guy is not an NBA player. You can't convince me otherwise. I have rarely seen such a useless player. Second thing I noticed is the Bulls games actually might be pretty fun to watch this year because they aren't playing a single lick of defense, so it's just non-stop up and down the court for both teams. The score was 41-38 after the end of the first quarter. No team was playing defense. The third thing I noticed is that this isn't going to win the Chicago Bulls many games. The fourth thing I noticed is that Zach LaVine actually looks really good, and the Bulls had better be happy that they gave him that contract, because in a few years, $20 million a year for Zach LaVine is going to look like an absolute steal. And the final thing that I noticed in this game, and this is the big one, that is that fans just don't have the patience or truly understand what it is the Philadelphia 76ers are trying to do with Markelle Fultz. The amount of people that I saw online yesterday saying that Markelle Fultz shouldn't be in the game or doesn't need to be starting over JJ Redick was way too high. Now, let me preface all of this by saying that I don't think that Markelle Fultz deserves to be starting over JJ Redick, and that if the Sixers were trying to win as many games as possible right now, that it'll be in their best interest to be starting JJ Redick over Markelle Fultz. And also that they should try and keep Fultz off the court with Simmons as much as possible, because if you have watched one of the Sixers games so far this season, you know exactly what I'm about to say. When Markelle Fultz and Ben Simmons are on the court together, it's a train wreck. It does not look good at all, and that's because defenses are sagging 5-10 feet off Markelle Fultz, daring him to shoot, and they're doing the same with Ben Simmons. Markelle Fultz brings the ball up the court, defense sagging off him. They're not paying attention to Ben Simmons, because you don't have to pay attention to Ben Simmons when he doesn't have the ball because he can't shoot. So those possessions always end in an absolute disaster. Right now, they don't work well together on the court at all, and JJ Redick would be the much more logical option to put in the starting lineup if the Sixers want to win games right now. But that's the thing right there. The Sixers aren't trying to win games right now. Starting Markelle Fultz isn't about competing to win right now, and it might not even be about winning come April or May. This is a move that the Sixers are making for the future of the franchise, because let's be honest here, they know that they are not ready to try and win right now. They're not. The Philadelphia 76ers are not championship contenders, because let's be logical about this for a second. If the Sixers start JJ Redick over Markelle Fultz, then they're going to be a lock for a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference, right? Maybe make the second round of the playoffs and most likely lose to the Boston Celtics again. That's the outcome if they start Redick over Fultz. Now, here's what happens if the Sixers start Fultz over Redick. They still win a lot of games, make the playoffs as, we'll say the worst case scenario, the 4th or 5th seed in the East. They'll make it to the second round, and guess what? Lose to Boston. Same outcome for the season, regardless of who starts Markelle Fultz or JJ Redick, because no matter how you look at it, the Philadelphia 76ers are not competing for a championship this year. They know there is no way that they make it out of the East yet, and even if by some miracle that they did, they know there's no way that they're getting past the Golden State Warriors. This is a move about the future of the franchise, and they know that the best future that this franchise can have is the future where Markelle Fultz blossoms into a star next to Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, and the Sixers have determined that the best way to get to that outcome is just to throw Markelle Fultz right into the fire, get him used to the in-game experience of playing alongside Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons, and then just hope that he figures it out along the way. And yes, there is the possibility that Markelle Fultz never figures it out and this is all a waste. But guess what? The Sixers won't know until they try. They owe it to themselves, they owe it to the city, they owe it to the franchise, they owe it to Markelle Fultz, to Ben Simmons, to everyone to at least give it a shot. And right now, it's not going to be pretty, and that's exactly what you have been seeing. Although I will say he was a lot better in game 2 than he was in game 1 of the year. So maybe he's starting to figure out a little bit, but it's going to take time. Next up though, I 100% believe that Lonzo Ball is going to be a good player in his career, a fantastic player. LeBron James believes in him, Rajon Rondo believes in him, Magic Johnson and the rest of the Lakers management believes in him, a lot of fans believe in him. So I also believe that Lonzo Ball is going to be a really good player. All that his dad cracked him up to be, no, that man, he was on something else when he was talking about better than Steph Curry and James Harden. But still, that doesn't mean that he can't be a really good player. That being said, I do want to say that at no point this year should Rajon Rondo be coming off the bench for the Los Angeles Lakers. Point blank period, end of discussion. Because here's a guy that last year showed us with the New Orleans Pelicans that he still got it. He can still get into his bag on a nightly basis, because all credit goes to Anthony Davis in the monster year that he had last year. But Rajon Rondo was also phenomenal for the Pelicans last year right after DeMarcus Cousins went down. It was his play that led to the Pelicans being able to contend for the 3rd seed in the Western Conference. He was out there getting triple doubles every night, dropping games with 20 plus assists, just making life super easy for the other 4 players on the court with him. And I still think he's going to be the best point guard for the Lakers this year. Here's my thing though, just because I don't think Rondo should be coming off the bench doesn't mean I don't think that Lonzo shouldn't be starting, because I think the Lakers should truly contemplate starting both Lonzo and Rondo once Lonzo is fully healthy, up to game speed, and can play starters minutes after coming off his knee surgery over the offseason. And this is because positionless basketball, right? LeBron James has said time and time again, the Lakers are going to be a positionless basketball team. That's what they're striving to be. So if that's the case, why not start Lonzo over Contavious Caldwell-Pope and have the Rondo, LeBron, Lonzo starting lineup? LaRonzo, that is the future of the Los Angeles Lakers. And I know this is where people come in saying, but what about the shooting? You're gonna put Rondo and Lonzo in the starting lineup at the same time? Where is the shooting? Where is the floor spacing? That's awful. Well, first off, Rondo can knock down an open shot if he's open. You know, he can hit a shot if he needs to. And yes, you are right, we still do need to see whether or not Lonzo Ball is able to knock down jumpers on a consistent basis. But then again, that being said, I'm still waiting to see whether or not Contavious Caldwell-Pope can knock down jumpers on a consistent basis. But shooting aside, let's compare Lonzo and KCP real quick here. Lonzo Ball is just as good of a defender, if not even better than KCP. Lonzo Ball is a better rebounder than KCP. Lonzo Ball is a better passer than KCP. Lonzo Ball has a higher basketball IQ than KCP. The only thing that KCP might be better at than Lonzo right now is shooting, but that's depending on whether or not Lonzo will be a capable shooter this year. And if he is, then he's just better all around than KCP. And there's no reason that Pope should be starting over him. None. But then again, I also think that Josh Hart will make a better starter than KCP. And then as far as the backup point guard situation goes for LA, since you'd have both Rondo and Lonzo in the starting lineup, I know people are gonna be like, well then who is the backup point guard for the Los Angeles Lakers? Look, LeBron James, Brandon Ingram, Lonzo Ball, and Rajon Rondo. As long as at least one of those 4 players on the court for the Lakers, it doesn't matter who the other 4 players are, because all of those guys are capable of running the offense. And even if all 4 of them are in the starting lineup, I still can't imagine a time where at least one of them isn't on the court. So if Magic Johnson really wants to bring back the Showtime LA Lakers, the LaRonzo lineup is going to be the way to go. Oh, and as for this game, I mean, this was a loss that you could expect for the Lakers. The Blazers have beaten the Lakers in the past 16 games. The Blazers haven't lost a home opener in like 18 years, and this was the first game for the Los Angeles Lakers. LeBron James has never won a game when he has debuted for a team. Never. 0-4. For those of you wondering why the Heat haven't been able to trade for Jimmy Butler yet, Josh Richardson is why. The Bulls have been demanding that the Heat trade him in any trade discussions, and Miami has flat out refused. And for those of you saying that the Heat should just do it because it's just Josh Richardson, you would be dead wrong, because Josh Richardson is a player that the Heat strongly believe is going to be at the very core of their team for years to come, and he has been proving just that in the first couple of games. In the Heat's win over the Wizards yesterday, Josh Richardson was the guy, scoring 28 points and hitting 5 triple attempts, and this was on a back-to-back. The first back-to-back of the season, which players always say is the toughest. And even though the Heat lost to the Magic on Wednesday night, Josh Richardson was still their best player too when he had 21 points. So this being his 4th year in the league, I believe, it could be the year that he makes himself known as one of the top wings in the league. And I wouldn't be surprised to see his name mentioned in the most improved conversation, or if he just wins it all. So as long as the Wolves are demanding Richardson a trade, don't expect the Heat to pull the trigger, but I do have to say that it would be nice to see Richardson and Butler on the same team, because I kind of get the same vibes from Josh Richardson right now that I was getting from Jimmy Butler before he blew up. Anyways, that does it for everything that we gotta talk about today. Don't forget to vote for the player of the day by clicking the eye icon in the top right hand corner of your screen. Just remember though that only players whose team won are eligible to win player of the day. And yesterday that player was of course Anthony Davis with his 32 points, 18 rebounds, 8 assists, 3 blocks, and 3 steals. Anyways, leave a like on this video video if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel with post notifications turned on so you can stay up to date with everything that goes on in the NBA on a daily basis. Thank you once again for watching, though. You guys already know that you are the real MVPs, and until tomorrow, I am out of here. Peace.